Okay, so new stream today. It's 9:59. I'll go ahead and get started right at 10 o'clock. And hopefully this should be a smooth stream. I just hope that the internet survives this stream. But I'm hopeful because my internet service provider apparently did some work on Friday, and hopefully the internet connection's better. Okay, so it's 10 o'clock, and let me just see if I can get this situated here. All right, so new stream today. We also have a new case that I designed last week, and hopefully things work out for it because we're going to be putting it together and assembling it and basically explaining the entire process. So new case, using parts from the previous build, which is a ITX motherboard, full-size GPU, and this time we're going to be using a 240mm radiator, and the power supply again is going to be SFX. And for this one, it's actually pretty interesting, I think. It's got kind of two modes to it, which I'll hopefully have time to show today. And yeah, so let's get started with this. So basically, I designed the case and printed it out on my Cheetah X-Max 3. I am using PETG with glass fiber, and they are fairly large prints, so it does not take the entirety of the bed. So the Cheetah X-Max 3 does have a 325 by 325 print bed. Now I know that not everyone has a large printer. That kind of segues into the sponsor for this particular stream, which is a JLC 3DP. Now, they are a 3D printing service where you can upload models and print out parts that you need. And how it relates to this stream, basically some of these parts are too big. You could use their service in case you do have a smaller printer. So they are the ones who are sponsoring this particular stream. And it looks like I'm getting a low bit rate. Oh, come on, I swear we had this fixed, but I guess what can we do? All right, but we do have a lot of stuff to do for this stream, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get started on it right away. And if you do have questions, just feel free to throw them up. I try to look up as much as I can to answer the questions, because I mean, part of the stream is just to have fun with y'all watching, because it is more fun doing this for the stream and getting questions asked versus me in the garage spending 3 days just filming. So let's go ahead and get started. There are optional parts for this, and for the most part, the parts that are not optional don't really have any processing. Actually, I don't think they do. No, they don't. So it's only the optional parts that have post processing, and so I'll just do them now. They're optional, but we might as well get out of the way. But basically, they are these brackets, and they do have an overhang, and that's why there is support material on there. So let's go ahead and get those removed right now. Let me see if they come off with my hands. They might, and they do. Sweet. So they just pry right off. Well, at least those ones did. Hopefully these ones do the same. And obviously it's a flat rectangular case, so it was easy enough for me on my large printer to print it out and just basically have it all flat and be able to do most of the prints without any supports besides these two pieces here. And we'll just put these aside for now because they are optional. And basically, let me just go over the parts. So this is a bottom / front panel, depending on how you use the case. And it's just this piece right over here. And it's all mesh, so they do breathe pretty easily. And this will be the top / rear, depending again on how you use it. And so you can see there's a motherboard cutout. You've got room for your GPU, and you've got room for an optional throughway for the power cable. And there's also a little slot here for your power cable as well. And this is the side panel / motherboard panel. As you can see, there's mounting holes for your motherboard and little slots just for the GPU, 2-slot GPU. this is the rear slash bottom panel, and you can see that there is a cutout just for the SFX PSU. And then this will act as the front slash top panel. There's really nothing much to it. And then this is the side panel. And basically the only thing that's really kind of worth mentioning is the fact that it does have these little cutouts here so that you can kind of get your finger on it. And then lastly, we do have the front panel slash top panel. It's got room, it's all mesh, and it's got room for a 16mm power button, and I put a little SUG logo on there. All right, what else we got here? And we might as well talk about the extra parts. And so this is a cutout for the I/O. So for this case, you'll see eventually there is a means to redirect the HDMI and the DisplayPort. And then these are brackets for a 240mm radiator. And these are actually from a previous print, but there is also an option to utilize these power supply standoffs, and you'll see later on what I'm talking about. It was never actually designed to use them, but as I was designing, I was like, hey, I can actually like give it a little funny mode. And so yeah, so let's get started. Oh, I forgot about the feet. And so we do have little case feet that I printed out. In the standard mode, there's 4. If you do the different mode, you do have the ability to use another one. And so the first thing I do need to do is install a lot of heat inserts. And so let me go ahead. My soldering iron is already plugged in, and I'm just going to turn it on right now and let it heat up. And if you've watched my other streams, I set my soldering iron to 280 degrees Celsius, and I use a specific heat insert tip that you'll see here, and it's made just for pushing in heat inserts. And while that's warming up, I suppose I should put on safety glasses. Why not? We might as well. And then I keep getting these errors on the connection. So if it's super choppy, let me know. Maybe I can put the bit rate down or something. I don't know, but we'll just leave it at that. So basically, the soldering iron's warming up. Now I'm debating, do I want to turn on the fan? Because it is quite noisy, but maybe I should. No, we'll leave it on. We'll leave it off for now. I think it should be okay. All right, so I'm just gonna basically set aside the parts that need heat inserts, and then hopefully we can get these heat inserts in. And I think this one does not have any, but I could be wrong. But let's find out. I designed this last week. It was supposed to be streamed on Friday, but we had the internet issues, which seems to be still an issue. And but it's been a while. Usually, like if the CAD's fresh in my mind, I'm able to kind of remember what was going on. But it's been a while, I guess, a few days, and a lot has happened. But essentially, I will be using these heat inserts. They're 3 M3s, and so I tried to have the same heat inserts all throughout the case, and I think I succeeded on that. But let's go ahead and get started on this. I'm going to zoom in really quick. That way we can have a slightly better view. And I know if I zoom in all the way, it's like a digital zoom, but maybe it's not so bad. It's a little blurry, but at least it's kind of like a cropped view for y'all. All right, so let's just go ahead and get started on this. And they should just line up pretty easily. I think I gave enough clearance so that they kind of just like sit there pretty well. And the first one's already in. Now, because it has been a while, I have a feeling I might forget where some of the heat inserts are, but y'all are just going to have to bear with me. Now, I personally love heat inserts, but I know some have requested cases that don't use it. But I guess if more people keep requesting that, maybe I'll just do it. But personally, I'm not a fan of screwing directly into plastic. But maybe I'm thinking about it wrong. Like, what if I just like screw right into the plastic and then just kind of heat up the screw that's in there, and that way it's kind of like a tap, and it might refresh the plastic that the screw's biting into. I don't know. Okay, so we've got the 4 heat inserts for the motherboard on the motherboard tray. The rest of the holes, I believe, are just for magnets now. I hope. I think it should be. Or maybe I'm wrong. We'll find out together. Actually, hold on. I think I'm wrong. I think that is heat inserts on the side. Wait, let's see. If this is the front here, I kind of remember how it sort of goes together. So I know that this is the front, and oh, those are heat inserts. Okay, so I guess I have to put a bunch of heat inserts on the side. So let's go ahead and do that right now. And I think it's a good view here. Just aligning the heat inserts now and pressing them in. All right. But I'm curious. I mean, I think for the people that are watching, you know, if you are 3D printing your case, you're likely 3D printing a lot of cases. And so I think, I mean, I assume that the heat inserts are appreciated, since you might be just kind of rotating through cases. And I'll admit, I don't think I've kept a case for very long since I've started 3D printing them. Well, actually, besides the, I have been using the workbench a lot. Sometimes I even have my gaming setup on that for like a month on end, because it's just fun to kind of like play around with cooling. Hey Adam, hola, good to see you, Adam. Hopefully your Sunday or Monday or wherever time zone you're at is going good. But it's good to see you here. Okay, so these are screw holes. We've got 1, 2, 3 heat inserts on that side, and then 3 heat inserts on this side. So I believe this part is done for heat inserts. Let me just think about this really quick again. We've got holes for screws here. These might be heat inserts, actually. This is the top, and they go like so. Oh no, those are magnets. Okay, good. I'm glad I didn't put a heat insert in there, because that would have been disaster. Okay, so let's move on to this part here. I know for sure I need heat inserts for the power supply, so let me go ahead and get that started right now. So this is for the extension cable for the power supply cord, in case you want to use it. The true design does not utilize it, but I suppose it's good to have the option, and that way I can also just show you what I mean by it. And these just go in pretty easily though. I suppose for this one, I keep talking about not having a heat press like device, but I guess it could have worked for that. And so now we also have the GPU retention on here, so we're going to be adding heat inserts just for the GPU. Oops. Just go ahead and turn this around. I'm actually hearing like a sizzle when I put these in. I normally don't hear that. It could just be the particular filament. So this one's a little weird angle because it's kind of close to the wall. Maybe I'll change up the CAD. Actually, no, that works. Never mind. The CAD shall stay intact. Okay. And I actually have already uploaded the file, but I just haven't actually shared it yet because for all I know, there could be changes I have to make after the stream. Adam writes, do you prefer this system so far compared to MakerBeam? I guess it's kind of mixed. I think, but to answer your question, I do prefer not to use the MakerBeams just because it does give me more freedom. But I think what's nice about the MakerBeams is that you really can create cases and not have to worry about like a side panel as much if you really want to, because the case itself can be supported just by the MakerBeams, which is a nice thing because, you know, as much as an advocate I am for 3D printing cases, I know that, you know, it really is, it can be not as durable as a metal case. And so I totally understand people feeling more comfortable with an actual metal frame holding their case together. But in terms of designing for it, it's definitely, I think it's easier designing for MakerBeam because like I don't need to really do too many like heat inserts like this usually, because I can just kind of rely on the MakerBeam system to hold things together. So that's nice. But even though I use the 10mm MakerBeams, like I know that like other designers like Jacob Designs, they use the 15mm ones, but they do take up space. Like sometimes I find that I can get more clearance. I can still like maintain a smaller case volume and have more clearance without the MakerBeams, because like the MakerBeams I use are 10mm, and so obviously if you add two of them, like you will lose like 20mm of space just to make room for the MakerBeam, and so sometimes that could be an issue. And yeah, for some people who are really like after the smallest case possible, which I try to do when I can, MakerBeams can kind of hold that back. Oop, almost lost that one. And then Adam wrote, you still need the printer to make the brackets, etc. for MakerBeam case. Oh, 100%. 100%. You just have to do less bracketing, I guess. Also, what's nice about the MakerBeam is that if you do have a smaller printer, because you're not relying on the actual prints to hold the PC together, you can get away with, like, for instance, the first MakerBeam case I made, like, you can totally make on a 180 by 180 print bed, because, like, even though it was able to hold like a 300+ millimeter GPU, the MakerBeams like basically was the structure, and so you can kind of hold everything together towards the MakerBeam system instead of relying on the entire print. Okay, so I think I got everything done here, did I? I feel like I'm missing something. Hold on 1 second. Hold on, I need to do a little dry fitting again. So, front panel magnets, and it will go like so. And so I think I do need a heat insert here. Okay. You have to bear with me here. It's been a few days, and my memory is short, I guess. I suppose it would help if I just had like a diagram in front of me or something, but the desk is already so cluttered as it is. All right, I think that's it. Oh no, I did forget something. Okay. Well, these have a lot of heat inserts. I should have all the links for the heat inserts in my description too, so if you're wondering where those are at, just check out the description and they should all be linked there. Along with the screws too. Actually, mostly everything that you need to make the case should be linked on there. I don't think I link the actual like PC parts I'm putting it on anymore because it's kind of hard to be like, hey, like buy this video card. Like my video card you can't buy anymore, so there's no point in linking that. And then that one ASHAT. So good to see you, that one ASHAT. Will this case be available on your printables at some point? Yes, it should be. Again, it's already uploaded. It's not public, just like Adam just wrote. And then, yeah, Adam wrote, I like your name, by the way. It is a good name. I'm surprised that YouTube allowed you to have that name. That's a good name. All right, so I think I'm done on this part for heat inserts. However, I did realize I may have made a mistake somewhere. We'll see how it goes, and it's hard to see, but this is the I/O cutout, but I don't know, I must have like slipped my mind, but I have like a part of the heat insert kind of protruding past it, and I just hope that the I/O bracket can clear. I guess we can find out right now. Where is that thing? Oh, here it is. Okay. Here's the moment of truth. So this is the I/O bracket. Will it work? Let's see. So it should fit this way. Oh no, I think it actually gets in the way. I mean, it kind of works. Well, that's not good. I think we just ran into our first snafu. So I mean, obviously it fits like this, like that, but I do see it protruding out a little bit. How do I remedy that? I guess that's another issue of going with the small form factor PCs and hunting for the smallest case possible. Is you just run out of space. Like, I mean, look at how thin this little edge is here, and it's like not enough for the screw. But we'll see. Maybe it'll still work. It just kind of has a weird fitment. Okay, we'll see when we get. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Okay, so let's get some more of these heat inserts in. Let's go to this bottom panel now. Let's see. Okay, so I think the bottom here definitely takes heat inserts on each corner just for the case feet. The case feet, honestly, is also optional in this case. Just the way it's designed, there's really, unless your like video card has like a funky flow pattern to it, the bottom, I don't think it needs to be raised, but I guess it's always nice to have parts raised off the desk so that you do have the option to have some airflow go through. And everything is a mesh, so you might as well utilize it. I also just like printing in mesh a lot because it saves time and material. This particular case takes up less than half a roll of the PETG glass fiber that I used. If you watched my previous stream, that other case also took less than half a roll, and so I was able to build 2 cases with just 1 roll. which is really nice because filament adds up after a while, especially when you have mistakes. Luckily for this particular build though, I did not have any mistakes, or I mean, I didn't have any mistakes that cost me or forced me to use up more materials. So that was really nice. I didn't have to do any reprints. But now that I've said that, I probably jinxed myself. I'll probably have to like reprint a whole bunch of parts. And then, ooh, I just touched a hot heat insert. Okay, Evie Designs is here. Hey, Evie, good to see you. Good to see you. All right, so we've got the 4 heat inserts just for the feet, and now I'm gonna install 2 more for the radiator bracket. That's what it is, man. I'm trying out this new 10 a.m. time frame, but I just come to realize my brain hasn't really like fully kicked in yet. Not that it ever has, I guess. But I think the 10 a.m. time bracket does work, though. And it's kind of nice because I'm the type of person where, like, if I have something planned for the day, like, it's, like, the only thing on my mind. And so the earlier it's done, I can, like, kind of free myself mentally from thinking about it, I guess. Just installing more heat inserts. We've got a lot on this one. Well, see, I don't know if I would like to have like a permanent screw into plastic for parts like this. So like these tabs are going to be holding up the optional cooling mode of using a radiator, and I don't know if I want to use like a self-tapping screw into plastic for that kind of stuff. All right, we got more heat inserts here. Especially since I use soft tubing, where there is usually some tension from the tubing. And so, like, if you can imagine installing that into a PC, and even when you're not using it, like even when the case is just chilling there, like you have tension inside there. So that's, I'm not sure how I feel about that. All right, we got 2 more, I think. I hope I didn't miss any. Evie wrote, "Internet fixed. Stream is pretty smooth." So I'm glad you're saying it feels smooth on your end, but I'm actually getting a bunch of warnings on my YouTube Studio. So I hope that it's like maybe like depending on where you're at, but yeah, right now like I literally have a warning saying my bitrate is too low. But if you're saying it's smooth, then I'm happy to hear that, because it's just a bummer that we pay for like a 1.2 terabyte like monthly data plan that's supposed to be like a gigabit connection, but it's like, yeah, sometimes like when I do the speed test, I'll hit like near a gigabit, but it's like inconsistent though. So like you've seen my streams fail here. So and then my uploads aren't the greatest too. Like the max I see is like 30, but again, that's also inconsistent. So kind of a bummer. Which is also funny that I live like in the Bay Area where there's like so much technology, but I guess the infrastructure didn't have much like planning. Like I don't even have fiber in my area, and yet like Google and Apple are like just a drive away. Okay, so I think I got all the heat inserts here. There's 1 for like the side panel, 4 for the feet, 2 for the radiator, and then 4 more for the front and back panels, I think. I hope I got everything. Guess we will find out. Okay, so that's done there, and I think the last part we have to put heat inserts for is this one here. This is the back / bottom panel, depending on how you use the case. Actually, a few of you here in the stream have seen the renders for the case, so a lot of this won't be a surprise to you. But I guess the assembly will be new, but the end result you kind of know already, sort of. I guess there's still a lot left to the imagination, but I did leave a render of the final case for my Patreon members. So if you're interested in seeing sneak peeks, they're kind of far in between, but you do get a view of the projects before they go live, which I think is fun. And obviously you support the channel by letting me afford to buy filament. That would be the dream, though, to have like a... I know, like, I watch a bunch of videos on people who try to do recycling of material, but, you know, obviously none of them are, like, ready. It's like, it's all frontier work, and so the idea of, like, just a rando like myself having the ability to recycle their filament is just not really within reach yet. But that would be awesome. Like, I mean, it'd be kind of sad, I suppose, to be to tear down my cases and break them apart and then recycle them. But I think for this channel, I think it'd be great, because then I could just keep reusing filament and then sharing new case designs with y'all. That'd be really fun. Let's see. Adam wrote, have you looked into the option of pausing the print and setting in M3 nuts, then resuming? Captive nut strategy. I have looked into it. What the thing is, though, like, I don't know what it is. I think I could do it with my previous printer, because my previous printer is a little dumb, meaning there's no, like, sensors that'll get in the way yet. Because there actually is a mod where I'm going to be putting the Z-stop sensor on the extruder to get, like, bed leveling, because my old printer has no automatic bed leveling. But this guy here, believe it or not, it's like super sensitive to metal stuff in there. Like, sometimes what I used to do is actually like mid print or like after a print, if I'm doing back to backs, I'll like use my brass brush to like clean off the nozzle. But I find that sometimes if I touch weird parts of the printer, like the nozzle or even the bed, like it'll just shut itself off. Like there's like a short or something. So like sometimes I'll like, if there's like a booger on like the on the print bed that's like from the nozzle, and I'll like sometimes I'll take tweezers and like kind of like take it out, and it'll like cause the print to fail. So I just try not to have anything metal in there. And so the idea of stopping the print to like place a nut, I think it sounds like a great idea. I just don't, because this thing just like, it's like very finicky. And that, so one thing, I mean, I really wanted to do it for magnets, especially because I mean, like right now you'll see me like gluing magnets in soon. It's not fun, but the thing is, like, especially with this one too, I have like a hardened steel nozzle, so the magnet will just like pop right out. So it's a bummer, but one of these days maybe I'll try it. I actually do want to even just maybe instead of using heat inserts, maybe my next case might just have like the actual nuts just placed in there. And I know like in the beginning that a lot of people did that. Like for laser cutting, you do that a lot too. So that might be something we can definitely try out. So yeah. Okay, so I'm trying to think now. Do I need more heat inserts here? So these are screw holes. Screw holes. I think magnets. Okay, I think we're done with the heat inserts. That could be wrong. Give me a second. So these are for the radiator. Screws. Okay. And these are for the IO. Nothing. And okay, I got those heat inserts there. Okay, I think we're good. I'm gonna turn this off, because now we have to install magnets. Let's see. Evie Designs writes, so Adam wrote, it's a lot of trade-offs. I'm curious if it's better than heat inserts. I think it's like, I think what's nice about being able to do the captive screw is that you don't need a soldering iron. You don't have to like risk burning stuff like I do sometimes. And so I think there's definitely an advantage to having that. It's also, it should be a lot simpler too. So one of these days I'll try it. Maybe, yeah, maybe I'll try it one of these days. We'll see how. Maybe I'll do it for a small case. I haven't designed a case for the X300W in a while, the little small STX one. Maybe I'll try it with that. All right. Evie Designs wrote, speaking of renders, would you consider dropping parts, PSU, GPU, etc., STLs? Maybe. That's a maybe. Those are like my bread and butters things, but we'll see. And then Evie also writes, pausing the printer equals babysitting for 3+ hours. Yeah, that's another thing too. I mean, it's already like, what's nice about it, because these are all meshed, it was fairly fast prints. I think all of these were printed within a day. That's also including like literally like waiting for stuff to heat up and whatnot. So these were pretty fast prints, but if I didn't have the mesh, like they're like triple the time. Like this part here, I think was 1 hour and 20, but without the top and bottom layers. But with the bottom and top layers though, like it adds up. So that's definitely a thing, to be able to have to like wait around and also be there. So that would be kind of a bummer. Adam wrote, the major issue I can see is how to get an M3 nut into the end of a panel. The sides are easy, for sure, yeah. Unless you have it like, yeah, that's a hard one. You would have to just basically put it in and just have like a really thin wall, but that's a hard one too. You're right, that is kind of a hard one to think about. Babysitting is a problem for sure. Adam wrote, I guess you can drop a nut into the print sideways like an edge. Yeah. But definitely more babysitting, just to your point. So maybe, yeah, it'd have to be probably a more simple print for that to be kind of like useful for everyone. All right, so, sorry, I'm kind of dreading this. I'm yapping kind of because I'm doing magnets now. And again, I always have like issues with magnets. Okay, so if you watch my other stream, in the magnet kits that I've linked, they have like this really long magnet, and what I do is I just attach like a blue tape to one end to kind of let me know the orientation, because obviously if you get it wrong, like they start repelling. Like right now, like they don't want to get together even though if I touch it, like, but so now this works. And so what I'll do is I'll decide that the outer pieces, oh man, this is gonna be so, I have to think about this. So this is an outer piece. This is also an outer piece. And do I have anything else magnetic? I don't think I do. But I think each part needs a magnet though. Okay. So, oh no, this one is not magnet. This is magnet free. Yes, this should be, yeah, this is magnet free. So I'm gonna keep this over here. And I'm probably gonna forget it's there, but maybe y'all can remind me when I get to it. Evie wrote, I have a fun challenge, making a case parts all printed in vase. Well, this is vase mode. If you've watched my other print also, where I did the passive cooling, that tower that's like taller than me, I would say like 90% of that was vase mode though, but the part that holds the actual motherboard was not vase mode. So yeah, that'll be an interesting challenge if you can get that going, Evie, because that's gonna be hard. I have thought about that, because I mean, being able to do vase mode would save so much time. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna say that the outer pieces are gonna be tape side. Okay, let's just do that. So outer pieces tape side. Hopefully that makes sense to people watching, but okay, let's just do it. So I got my super glue here. I'll be using super glue. You don't have to use super glue. Like in my other videos, I've done like epoxy. I've tried just like melting them into, so it all kind of works. But for the stream, I'm using super glue. I think if I was doing it long term though, I'd probably go with like an epoxy, just because it has like better filling. And also I find that crazy glue does sometimes cause issues with the like dark prints turning white. And it looks like, oh no, did I just lose everyone? I just keep getting errors with my internet, so I do apologize for that, but I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in. And now we are going to just drop some super glue in each hole. Hopefully I didn't put too much there. Feels like a lot. Okay, super glue there. And then more super glue here. All right, and then now we're doing tape side for the outer pieces. Okay, tape side. Hopefully this presses in with no issues. And it is not pressing in, so let me grab a... I'll use this screwdriver. So it pressed in, but not all the way, so I'm just going to give it a little smashy. Okay, that's pretty flush. Oh no. It's saying that my internet is like really buggy right now, which is a bummer. Uh-oh. Currently it's saying no viewers, so maybe the internet died, but I think it should still be recording, so I'm just gonna keep going. That way we can at least have people watch it eventually. I hope. But that's a bummer. It's such a... I just can't wait till I get fiber here or something that's more stable. They have laid down fiber, the actual physical wires or cables, whatever you want to call them, in our streets, but the service itself has not been live or active or even promoted yet. Which I'm really not surprised of, because stuff just takes forever. And I'm sure they also don't have much motivation to like get it going as soon as possible, considering, I mean, I'm already paying for subpar internet because I don't really have a choice. Like, we need internet, and it's going to be subpar, but we need it. Okay, so those magnets are in. Evie wrote, "We are here." Yeah, it must be either the software or my internet or both. So I'm just gonna keep going. Okay, so we've got the 4 magnets for the front / top panel, or I guess facade. I think that's what I called it in the CAD. It's facade. Just press this in a little bit more. I mean, that's as far as it goes. Okay, I'll leave that there. And does this need a magnet? It might. Yeah, this one definitely needs a magnet. Okay. These ones are a little harder though because they're on the edge, so I can't really like, what do you call it? Press them in with the screw, I don't think. But let's give it a try. Oh no, what am I doing? I'm supposed to be doing the outer panels first. Hold on, I need to pause. We'll do the outer ones first. This is an outer, so let's do this one. All right, so we've got magnet, 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 magnet. Okay. Oh, did I really not put a magnet on that end? I guess not. No, I did. They're right here. Okay, cool. Now, obviously, because these get punched out in like a day in terms of the design, because I do have to try to make time for the printing. A lot of it is not like super fleshed out. So we kind of design on the go kind of thing. Hold on, did I put enough glue in there? Alright, so Evie wrote, have you come across a YouTube channel called Batch 3D? The guy uses laser etching on his 3D printed parts, and those parts look sick. The Batch 3D, it does sound familiar, so maybe I have run across it, but that'd be cool. Laser etching. What I really want to try out is the electroplating. That would be like really fun. I would just need to like get the chemicals somehow. I do know someone that could possibly get me those chemicals. And maybe I'll have to just buy like a power supply, or maybe use one I have already. Because that would be a lot of fun. Wow, that magnet really doesn't feel like it's in very good. Hopefully these don't pop out, because they are kind of going in a little too easy. Like, we're kind of really relying on the super glue to do its job. I don't know if that's good to rely on super glue. One bummer about might be a little hard to see with these light colored filaments is that you can get it pretty dirty. So like you saw me just push this in with the screwdriver. There's already like a little mark there. Actually, I like wasting time already. But if you remember this case from last week, I actually had to spend like maybe 15 minutes. I didn't realize I had like dirty fingers, and I like touched it, and then I was taking photos. I'm like, what is that cast shadow? And no, it was not a cast shadow. It was just my dirty hand. So I had to like clean it, and it was like kind of annoying. I was like, man, I never had to deal with this with my black prints or like my darker colored prints. But the white looks really nice, though. I will say it looks like it looks fun. But definitely, if you're a dirty guy like me, just be mindful. Also, doesn't help that I'm doing this in my garage, where I'm like, you know, sometimes I'll have to like move a tool out of the way or something that's over there, and it has like oil on it or something. Just, I guess my advice would be to have a clean lab, not like me. Okay, so I think those are all the magnets I need for the exterior parts, quote unquote. Okay, so now that we've got the exterior parts done, again, we were pushing in our magnets with the tape side going towards the hole, and so now we're going to rotate it, and now it's supposed to interface with the outer parts, but from the inside. So let's see. So they were pushed in this way, so they should attach. Wait, what, am I not thinking about that properly? Oh no, that makes sense. Yes, because now that we're going to be pushing in the magnets this way, it should work. Okay, let's keep going. Hopefully I get that right. So what I'll do is I'll do the corresponding part for that first. That way we can kind of do like a test. Okay, so that attaches to this. No, it doesn't. Oh, it attaches to the top of something. Oh, it's the tops. Okay. Okay, let's just do the top then. So this is the front panel in its conventional mode. It also acts as the top panel, but this part does interface with that front part right over here. So let's go ahead and do some magnets for that. So let's go ahead and put some super glue here. And push it in. Okay, so that went pretty well. So that. Evie Designs wrote about the laser etching. Could be a neat way to give the PC case a design element. Yeah, that'd be really fun to actually just like kind of put maybe you can maybe even hide part lines if you're doing like multi-prints. So that's a good idea. Let's see. John Thompson, good to see you here. Question, he goes, or they go, what do you do with all these projects you build? Well, I'm a hoarder, and so maybe one of these days I'll show you like a behind the scenes of what's like what you see here is not the reality. Like this garage, before I was able to put like 2 cars in it and park. I cannot do that anymore, so I just have like a lot of crap here. Right now, a lot of the cases I printed are just kind of strewn about. Obviously, you see this one chilling here because I just like looking at it. It's fun. But the original plan was to give them away eventually, but I need to like deal with some stuff in terms of like the business side of stuff. So, but yeah, but I don't know. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see. But the original plan when I started this channel was to like give them away. I just haven't gone around to it. And the issue is sometimes I keep them around because like let's say I run out of like certain parts like heat inserts, I'll like literally dig them out of old PCs, and so that's kind of what's been happening sometimes. Especially if I'm like let's say I order some heat inserts and I know they're supposed to be coming and they get delayed and they don't come in time for like a project, then I'll just like literally dig them out of something else. But I should just I need to get rid of them though, because it's just they're just chilling here. Like a lot of them aren't being used, and so I need to just maybe give them away. Maybe that's what I'll do for the Patreon. I'll do like a little raffle in the Patreon and just have them like send them away. But the one issue I have is like I don't know. I know like some of my viewers and Patreon members are not in the U.S. and so I don't know how I feel about shipping like a case like all the way out of the country, even across the country. I don't know. That feels like it's gonna add up pretty fast. Okay, so but good question though. So this is the front/top, and this is the panel that goes to it, and hopefully I have the orientation of the magnets right, and I do. Cool. A little sneak peek. Wow, it's so fun. Like I keep saying this. You know, like looking at this in the CAD is cool and all, but when you see it materialize in front of you, it's always a blast. Okay, so cool. So I think I have the orientation of the magnets correct. So this part is done, and so is this. But let me do the back side. So this is the back/bottom. Again, depending on how you want to use the case. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and put some super glue in the holes again. I just held up that piece with the magnets and showed it to you like defying gravity. I had a comment the other day. Somebody said I was like video editing my builds because like I guess they had issues with the magnets. The magnets aren't the strongest. I admit that. They're not going to be like clamping like, you know, like lifting a car kind of thing, but I think they were having issues with the magnets, and they were implying that I was like lying in my videos that the magnets didn't work and I was just like taping them or something. So, I don't know. They work, guys. They're just not the best. And but I will say that, I mean, I think I did mention it in my other video, like the, if you remember the SUG Forza, the one that's like, that I painted red, like that one, like you do not want to be moving it at all with the front panel on, because the front panel is like, it's heavy. The magnets work. I mean, if it's like static, it's okay, but yeah, do not move it around. But I didn't lie. Okay, so we got magnets on the ends, and I believe I have a magnet on the middle here. Wait, why is that so tight? Oh, I almost got my orientation wrong there. Why is that so tight? Okay. So let's do another check really quick. I know that this end goes here. Okay, cool. Yeah, see? I'm not lying. They're not the strongest, but they do their job. Alright, so that's done. And I believe this, yes, this one definitely has a magnet on one end. But we're almost done with the magnets. I can feel it. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel with these magnets. Just press this in. But to the point of like shipping out the cases. I think that'd be fun. Maybe it'll be like good driver to have people join the streams too. People like free stuff. I'm just worried about how much it'll cost. Like this would be kind of interesting to ship out because it's kind of flat packed. But if you've seen my other videos, some of them are like literally like huge cases, and so the idea of like shipping that out like just scares me. It'd probably cost like more than it took to like print and material for sure. But maybe y'all are worth it though. So I mean, I can't thank you enough for watching these streams. Y'all make this super fun. So maybe it is a good way for me to like give my thanks, because you guys really are the best for sticking around and watching. If you do have suggestions for the stream too, like just let me know in terms of like do we want music in here? Adam wrote, have the winner pay shipping. Can you imagine feeling like you won and then like you get hit with like $120 shipping fee? Because like for instance, if I were to ship out like what is it? Let's see. Like I think the red case, I think that would be a pretty darn expensive ship, because I don't think, because even though some of the parts are flat-ish, like the box will still be like this big, just because like they're not flat, like they are curved. But that would be an interesting stipulation, maybe. You gotta pay for the shipping. Like I would be like so hurt from that. Wait, what? I have like it's gonna cost me $120. Okay, so I'm just trying to think, do I need any more magnets? I don't think I do. I think we're ready to proceed. We're ready to get to the fun-er stuff. Okay, so let me just double check. Maybe I'll go over each part. So again, this is the top/front panel. We've got 2 magnets on the top, 2 magnets on the bottom, and a hole for the 16mm power switch. So that's there. And then we've got the bottom/rear. And this one's got a bunch of parts to it. It's got the 2 heat inserts for the radiator bracket. It's got 1 magnet for the side panel, and then 2 more heat inserts to attach to the side panels, or so the other panels, and then 2 more heat inserts again for this attaching the front, I think. And then it's got 4 more just for the case feet. So yeah, a lot of heat inserts. And then kind of the same deal here too. We've got 2 for the radiator bracket, magnet for the side panel, 2 for the optional pass-through for the power extension cable. We've got 2 more heat inserts just for the GPU. And again, two heat inserts on the top and the bottom. And I didn't mention it before, but in most of these prints, you'll see like, do you see these little divots here? And so those are just essentially like alignment tabs. And so you'll see that in the corresponding pieces, you'll see a protrusion that helps align. Like, they don't really hold up the case, but sometimes it's nice to just kind of have them on there, and you kind of just like, it kind of self-locates a little bit. So that's what that's for. And ooh, let me close this off so that I don't have to buy a new one so soon. But thankfully, I actually get these at the dollar store, so it's kind of nice that I don't have to like spend so much money, because sometimes like within a week they're just dry, and so it's nice that they're cheap. All right, so we've got this back/bottom panel. We've got 2 magnets up here. We've got 5 heat inserts just for the case feet. So in this mode here, it does use 5. I put an extra case foot near the middle to kind of help support the edges of this power supply. And let's see what else we have. I think that's it. We've got another magnet in the middle here. That's about it. I think for the majority of the parts on, or for the majority of the attachments on this one, this will be where the screw goes through and not in. And then the case feet, there's no processing or anything. They just use a screw. And the side panel just has magnets on all ends. So it's got a magnet here, a magnet down here, and it's got magnets, or 3 magnets on this edge. And the idea is that these top ones will hold the corners in, obviously. And then these middle ones will hold the middle in and kind of keep it aligned and not have the panel gaps like showing too crazy. I think it did a pretty good job with the one I just showed a while ago. And this one is the front panel, and I am missing magnets on it actually. How did I miss that? Okay, so I'm missing 3 magnets on it. Wait, okay, I think we still have the alignment correct on this, I believe. Let me double check. I like using this one because it's like very clear that this is an outer panel. Okay, so it's going this way, that way. Okay, perfect. Whew, I'm glad we went over that because I totally missed it. And again, thank you all for watching and being patient with all the with the lack of planning in some of these live streams. I mean, there is a plan. I guess it's like really the details that are lacking. Because the plan is show the prints, process them, then put the case together. That's like the high level plan. But obviously the devil's in the details, and that's where it's lacking. Whoa, that's a really tight fit. Oh boy, hold on. Did I? You must have had like a booger in there or something. Okay, we're in. Ooh, that kind of scared me a little bit. But I suppose what I should do is actually like check the holes before I put the magnet in. Just make sure it's clear. Because right now I'm actually looking at this last hole. I think it'll be super hard to see on the. That's not even a point because like I see a little booger in there that's like maybe less than a millimeter. The camera's not going to capture that. I probably don't even need to deal with it. Yeah, it's like a tiny little booger in there. From the printer. Yeah, I was able to get shoved out of the way, which is good. I'll just press it in. And I think that should be it. Cool, let's put this thing together. All right. All right, we're going to be using a lot of screws again. And for this one, I'll be using the silver M3 screws that I have linked in the description. And I hope we have enough, but we should have enough though. Let me just double check which length I need. I think that works. Let's try the smaller one. Let's see. I think this is too small. Am I wrong? No, that should be fine. Okay. So I think, sorry, it's funny because like the way the screws are in here, they don't match with the legend that's on there. So maybe I should actually read it. I should start doing reviews on Amazon and be like, hey, like your sticker's on backwards. Because now when I look at this, it doesn't correspond with the actual like squares. If you see, there's the same number of squares for the screws that are in here, but they don't match up. Like, let's say, like, you would assume that, like, this square here would correspond to this, but it does not. Like, this one corresponds with this one, and so now I have to, like, do, like a diagonal across. So I think what I'm gonna be using for this build right now is the, it's also upside down, too. It's so weird. It is the 10mm M3s. Okay. So let's go ahead and get this started. I'm going to put the... Which one do I want to do first? Oh, the one I put over here. Almost forgot where I put it. I'm like, wait a minute, where's the motherboard tray? Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and put the motherboard tray together and attach it to the rear / top. Yeah. We'll call it the top because it is a top panel essentially. And it looks like this is held on by just one screw for now. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. grabbing the 10 mil, putting it through the hole. Actually, is the hole gonna work? It does. Oof. I think you're gonna hate me, but I still haven't tuned the filament yet, so I really need to get on that. I'm actually curious, like, I mean, for the people here who do 3D print and like and do these, like, how are you in terms of like tuning for every filament? I know that it's best practice, but it's funny. I really only do it when I have problems, but I haven't really had problems for this one, so I haven't been driven to like tune. Oh, there's a booger in the way here. Oh, okay, came off on its own. Perfect. Okay, so we've got the top panel, motherboard panel, and let's go ahead and grab the, let's put the rear on. Yeah, let's do the rear. This is the rear. And I believe it goes this way. Yeah, this is almost an iteration of the previous case that I showed. It's just now a different orientation, but I think I use the same like layout. I don't think I move, or when I say layout, I mean like where the power supply is in relation to the whatchamacallit, like the motherboard. I think I kept it all the same. So so that's why some of the parts are actually interchangeable with the previous case. Like the power supply spacers that I used in the previous case are also being used here. And so, I mean, it's an optional part, but I don't think I even have it in the CAD. I just know that like I can situate it that way, but maybe that's like not a good idea to just assume. Evie Design wrote, filament tuning is waste. I suppose it is. Maybe like you know, if you're not really having issues, like don't do it. Maybe, I don't know. But then I guess luckily for me, like my first print was I think it was this part. So I think it was only like 50 grams or something like that. And so I guess if something did happen, it wasn't like a huge thing. But I can't imagine like doing a huge print without tuning, though. I think it'd be like way too risky. That's not a pleasant noise, but it's just that plastic on metal grinding or rubbing. Adam wrote, I use bamboo filament with A1 Mini, and so far it hasn't needed tuning. Dimensional accuracy is really good. That's awesome. I think, yeah, to that point, Adam, I think if I was buying my filament directly from GD Tech, I also wouldn't like even consider tuning. It's like, why? Like they, like, you know, honestly, when I reviewed this printer and they gave me filament to try it out with, like, I just used their profiles and everything just worked perfectly. So I think if you are buying filament that's made just for your printer, that's the way to go. And especially with your A1 Bamboo Labs, like I'm sure they have like fantastic QC, and so relying on them for that, I think it's a pretty safe bet. Curious though, I know there's like a little hubbub with Bamboo Labs right now in regards to their software, but I mean, how do you feel about that, Adam? Since you're an owner of Bamboo Labs, like back then, that's all I recommended to people. Even though I don't own Bamboo Labs, but like when someone asked, I was just like, buy a Bamboo Labs, or Prusa. Not even recommending Prusa because I think we talked about this before in terms of like 3D printed parts and final products. I just was kind of put off by it a little bit. And back to recommending Prusa just because of the software issue. But maybe it's not. It's kind of like so funky. So it was to the point where the unit cost. Oh, Adam. Oh, yeah. So, oh no. So John Thompson wrote, you are glitching on my end. Oh no. Yeah, it is saying. Like I was saying, it's been giving me errors this entire time. Let me see. Will it fix itself? I don't know. I don't know if it'll fix itself. Hold on. I'm just opening up YouTube Studio right now. And it's saying it's not receiving enough. No. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it's saying my stream status is poor. It's really fun to pay for gigabit internet and have